The Habs have an incredibly tough decision to make as the season is winding down and the playoffs are within arm's reach. The final roster spot among the forwards is the most hotly contested spot on the team. There's a lot of questions that has some Habs fans a bit up in arms about who is going to be that final guy. We got to talk about Joshua Roy, Owen, Beck, and one other maybe surprising name, but it's not just that. We got to talk about Lane Hutson and some insane statistics to put his rookie season into even crazier context, and a little bit more than that, all that coming up on this episode of Habs Digest. But guys, today is the day the main event round starts for our March Madness bracket. Check this out and join the link down below. Have a watch.
We are kicking off a March Madness bracket for the channel, folks. We've partnered with the Hot Takes app. You know we love Hot Takes and other digest channels for this event. It's completely free to sign up. Just download the Hot Takes app, click the March Madness banner, and join the Digest Media pool to join the competition. And it's really exciting because there's over $35,000 in prizes to be won. That's right. And since there's a much smaller pool, there is a real chance to win.
Absolutely. So check out the link below or scan the QR code to download the app now, and make sure you use the promo code DIGEST. That's all caps. Has to be all caps, Digest. When you sign up, you'll be prompted for the referral code and you'll get some exclusive perks that no one else will get signing up to this, guys. You're going to want to do it quick because the first round, the main event, starts on March 16th. So get in now, click the link down below. We're pumped about this. And hey, if you have any problems signing up at all, email us. There'll be an email left in the description below. Thank you so much to Hot Takes for partnering with us on this amazing competition. Jesse, we got to start by taking a look at the playoff picture right now. So first off, we all know Montreal's 1 point out with a game in hand on the New York Rangers, but I feel like we don't quite know the context of what's going on. In terms of Montreal's schedule, we've talked about that in other videos, and we all kind of know the opponents coming up. And look, we know Montreal's playing up to their opponent's level, Jesse, so I'm not worried about that. But when you look at the Rangers and the Jackets, now there are other teams, of course, the Bruins, the Red Wings, who are within arm's reach, but right now the Rangers and the Jackets seem to be the ones, and I wanted to look ahead to their schedule, and this is where it gets very interesting. To give you guys some context, you look at the Rangers, there's a couple semi-tough games there. Of course, the Flames and Canucks are just out of a wild card spot, or vying for it, I should say. The Leafs are kind of in free fall. Kings are okay, but then these games against the struggling Wild and Devils and Ducks and Sharks. Right now, Jesse, it looks like New York has a semi-easy schedule up ahead, while Columbus's looks quite difficult, all things considered. What are you feeling about these other teams we're going up against? I know it's not just them, but honestly, when I look at their schedules, like especially the fact that Columbus seems a bit tougher, I honestly feel a little bit better, especially with how unpredictable the Rangers have been this year.
For sure, but you have to feel like right now, playing against, the Flames coming up, Oilers, even though they've had not the best stretch recently, that's still a very dangerous team. So although like the Canucks and the Leafs aren't playing the best, we know the Leafs are in the playoffs, Canucks are still in that proverbial mix as well there kind of right now. But obviously we can get all the help that we can right now because we know every team is gunning right now feeling like they have a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's the big thing here. I mean, we look at this, Jesse. I mean, a big thing with Columbus, they got games against the Islanders, the Penguins, and even other Metro Division opponents. So at the end of the day, if I had to ask you, which one, do you think it is going to come down to Columbus and New York? Because honestly, my take, I think, you can quote me on this right now, I genuinely think Montreal is going to be fighting with Ottawa for that first wildcard spot. I think after Tuesday's game, we're going to see it, and I think that might be what it comes down to. It. I don't know, do you agree with that take or not? You think Montreal's going to sit at number 2 or maybe even vie for number 1?
I mean, I love that take. Things are moving really quickly right now. We see that Columbus is now out of a playoff spot. It's really the question for me right now, I think probably is Ottawa might be tough, but it's can we get that final playoff spot, that last wild card, and really hold it off and really hold on to it, because that's going to be kind of that 2-part process right now. But you have to feel like for Montreal's schedule, whoever they're facing, you have to feel like Montreal's got a puncher's chance of winning. Why? Because they're starting these games on time. And for me, that's showing a lot of leadership from their core, which I'll throw Martin St. Louis into there as well, like Nick Suzuki, which I think is impressive. We need to give a shout out to the leadership because being the 3rd youngest team in the NHL and being one of the best teams since the stretch here with the 4 nations, I mean, is absolutely incredible. And I think that says a lot about Nick Suzuki, not only on the ice, but off of it as well.
Absolutely. And he had some great quotes as well. Like you said, Montreal with the highest point percentage of any team since the Four Nations break. Nick Suzuki tied for the leading score since the Four Nations break. Monty with the highest save percentage and most wins. And it's just been unbelievable right now. So some great stuff coming up. Look, Montreal can beat teams like Florida. We know we're not worried about them, but just a little context further on those other teams for you guys. But let's jump into the next topic, Jesse. And I want to bring up Lane. I feel like somehow we talk about him every single day, yet it's just not enough. I'm going to turn down the Lane train. Oh, he's a little bit loud. He's lagging up the screen here, and that's all right because he deserves it. He has that much impact, Jesse, right now. Yeah. Number 1 in rookie scoring. We know that. He's tied for 6th in all defensemen scoring, 1 point away from being tied for 4th behind only the 3 Norris favorites. But also, Jesse, a little bit more context on recent defenseman rookie of the year winners. There's more on this, like Barrett Jackman. Hutson has more than him that I didn't show, but you look at the recent winners. 50 points from Seider, 50 points from Makar, 39 for Ekblad, 48 for Myers. Hutson has more points than any of those Rookie of the Year winners, and he still has a good number of games to go. The last rookie to have more points than what Lane Hutson does now, rookie defenseman, to win a Calder, was Brian Leetch. Jesse, this is just, it puts his numbers into otherworldly perspectives here. To look at the recent winners, even like a Seider, and I know Makar did it in fewer games, but it just should put into perspective how insane this season is, as if we didn't talk about it enough.
Lane Hutson is having a better rookie season than Cale Makar, than Mercer Seider. Like, it's absolutely incredible. Having more points with 16 games remaining. His 52 points already ahead of the 50 from both Seider and Makar there as well. So, I mean, absolutely unreal. And we're hearing, like, major sports outlets right now saying that they believe that Hutson is going to win the Calder. Like, the narrative is changing right now. People are jumping on that bandwagon, on that Lane train, left, right, and center, because they know where that's going to take them, right? Yeah. Anyway, we won't go further on that. But, you know, what's funny is, you know, right now the question for Lane Hutson is, like, can he break Larry Murphy's record for most assists ever, any team in a rookie season? He has 12 points to get in the next 16 games. And if we know anything about Lane Hutson, that's totally possible. 13 points to actually break it. Like, this would absolutely be unreal. And the thing about Hutson and why I believe this is what we're going to need to start kind of tracking going forward a little bit on the show is, like, I mean, the way that he kind of amps up his game as the games become more important. I mean, I got a lot of faith in his, you know, potential to potentially break this historic record that hasn't been broken in over 45 years.
That's the craziest thing, and it's legit possible. Like, this guy might mess around and get a 60 assist season, which is insane. He has 44 goals, 48 assists. Do you know who's second in rookie assists this year? It's Macklin Celebrini. Spoiler, he has 29. Lane Hutson is up on second place in terms of assists by 19 as a defenseman. Like, it's just beyond crazy what he's been doing. And you're right, Jesse, like, we're talking about historic levels of production that he has the chance to do. So leave some more love for Lane. As if you don't leave it enough, we know you do, but again, just to put into crazy context what this future Calder winner season is looking like. But we got to move into the final topic here today, Jesse, and his spot, Lane Hutson, it's pretty solidified on this team. Might I just say, you know, hot take right there. But there's some other guys that definitely aren't. And when we look at the roster right now, the big question mark, of course, we got Pizzetta up there in the press box. We got Joshua Waugh, who I believe now has become an official call-up because the Habs had enough forwards. Could be wrong on that. But right now, we're seeing him getting that second line time. He's looking okay, but we've seen multiple guys fill in on that second line. We've seen Owen Beck. The center, even though Newhook was taking most of the faceoffs and playing a bit more of the center role, seen Joshua Waugh there. Right now, we're looking down in Laval, Jesse. Montreal only has a few call-ups left this season. I believe it's 3 until between now and the end of the year. We know we don't want to, like, ruin Laval's core right now as they're rolling. As don't forget, Florian Xhekaj just broke the rookie record for goal scoring for the Laval in the Laval Rocket history with his 17th. But I don't think he'll be the call-up. But there's other questions here, like Joshua Waugh. Let me put up Waugh's stats. To put it lightly, 0 points in 7 games. He's looked okay. Nothing game-breaking. Owen Beck, 1 point in his 12. These two guys have combined for 1 point in 19 games with Montreal this year, Jesse. Do you think either of their spots are already sold? If the Habs do make it to the playoffs, is it going to be one of these guys? Are we going to call up someone else? What are your thoughts on this very tough decision?
Right now, it'll be one of them, and I like Waugh right now. I think it was a ballsy call to bring him in, an aggressive move, knowing that we just need a little bit more offense. We see those 20 goals from from our boy Joshua Waugh compared to Beck's 13, which is a sizable difference, even though we know that there's a lot of things to like from Beck's game. It almost made sense that he got the call up first, but I like the adjustment, knowing on kind of what we need and sometimes being very specific and going out to get that. So again, it's like he just feels like a little bit of a better fit. Is it ideal? Is he a placeholder at that position right now? Yes, you'd have to feel absolutely that is the case. A big opportunity for him all the same. I think that he's a much better fit than a Jared Davidson, where he just doesn't feel, it wouldn't feel right for him coming onto that second line. And where we see the other lines are clicking, we don't really want to change with the chemistry of that right now. Even though that being said, Jared Davidson has 19 goals, only 1 point behind Guhle, which, we know that he's played some games in the HL. He's missed out on maybe some scoring opportunities there. So not to say that, Davidson can't put the puck in the net, because he's shown that he can. Just feels like with, his experience that he's had at the NHL, it's going to be his opportunity. And as long as the team's winning right now, quite frankly, I'm more than okay with it.
I like that take, because I'm gonna be honest, I've been all over the place on this. I've convinced myself for all three of these guys, because it's not easy, right? Like, I watched the games, and Joshua Waugh has had, I don't know if he's had like a horrible game, but like I feel like a lot of the games I've just been like, meh, solid. Like, he's not really detrimental, but he's okay. But like you said, Jesse, the thing with him is that we've seen that potential. When he came up in 23-24 last year, like, he had chemistry with a few of those guys, Monahan notably, but still, like, when he was on the ice, you're like, dang, he's creating chances. He knows where to be. We've seen that in the World Juniors. He's clicking in Laval. And he's a winger who plays best with other skilled wingers. And right now, that's kind of the role he's in. And I think having a few more games sample for him to get used to Newhook and Line A could work out, because I think the second you put him in, you're not going to mess with that bottom six right now. Those have been the lines that we've been rocking with for a long time, and it's led to success. I think it's this winger spot. So I think it's Joshua Waugh, but let us know down below what you guys think, because it could be Beck. Some of you are up on him, some of you maybe not. Jared Davidson, I think you make a good point, Jesse, that it's like, what has he shown that Joshua Waugh hasn't? Hey, maybe he brings a little more energy, a little spark, one of those new faces, fresh faces that gives a spark to his line mates. But there's a lot of question marks, so we'd love to hear from you. But that'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. A lot of big decisions, a lot of big games, a lot of big videos coming up from here right on the channel. Thank you for sticking around with us. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.